Abandoned train stations are fascinating and a little sad. They used to be busy places, but now they're just quiet ruins filled with a strange beauty. Why were these beautiful stations left to fall apart? Usually it was because things changed. People moved, travel changed, and it cost too much to keep them running when they weren't making enough money. Economic problems and other things that were more important also contributed. Come with me as we look at 7 of these stations and try to understand why they closed, what turned them from lively centers into empty ruins. What secrets are hidden in these forgotten places? If you love all things trains and travel, then be sure to subscribe for more videos like this. First up, let's head to Spain to the small town of Canfranc. Nestled in the Pyrenees Mountains, the town was once home to Canfranc International, one of the most impressive train stations in the whole country. Opened in 1928, the station combined the styles of traditional Catalan architecture with modern elements of the time, making it truly unique. During its heyday, around 20 passenger trains a day arrived here. This included services from Barcelona, Madrid, and Paris. However, after 1970, passenger numbers declined significantly due to competition from road travel, and eventually the line was closed in 1975. To add to that, a landslide near the station caused extensive damage, and the company responsible for the railway went bankrupt. So since then, the station has stood empty. It's remained largely untouched, even after 2 devastating fires in the early 1990s. It's also one of Spain's most popular abandoned places, attracting urban explorers from all over the world who come to marvel at the beauty of this forgotten landmark. Our next stop is Michigan Central Station, located in downtown Detroit, Michigan. It was built in 1913 by the New York Central Railroad at a cost of around $1 million, equivalent to roughly $34 million today. At its peak in the 1930s, the station handled nearly 150 trains daily, serving destinations across the eastern United States. But starting in the post-war era, passenger traffic began to decline as more people opted to travel by car or plane. And in 1988, the station closed down completely. Since then, it remained vacant except for a short period in the late 90s, when Ford Motors used it as a storage facility. But in 2018, Ford announced plans to invest over $900 million into transforming the building into a mobility innovation district featuring office space, shops, and restaurants. But not all abandoned stations are left to rot. Take Antwerp's Old Central Station, which closed in 1993 when the city opened a new central station nearby. But instead of demolishing it, authorities decided to restore the historic building, which was designed in a neo-Gothic style back in 1895. Today, it's home to apartments, offices, and a hotel. And the station master's house has been converted into a restaurant. So it's managed to retain its charm while adapting to modern needs. In the mid-19th century, Europe was gripped by what's now known as the railway mania. Everyone was building railways everywhere. But as the years passed, it became apparent that many of these lines were not economically viable. And so, over the decades, many of these railways fell victim to the beaching cuts, a series of reports published in the UK in the 1960s that recommended the closure of many railway lines deemed unprofitable. Today, much of Europe is home to forgotten railways that were once busy transport links, from the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway in India, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that was once a vital trade route to the Wuppertal-Schwebebahn in Germany, a unique monorail system that's now a tourist attraction. These lost railways offer a fascinating glimpse into the past and a reminder of the impact that economics can have on our infrastructure. But there are also examples of railways that were simply ahead of their time. Take the high-speed rail line between Madrid and Barcelona in Spain, for example. Construction began in the 1930s but was halted during the Spanish Civil War. When it finally opened in 1938, it was the fastest rail link between two cities in Europe with a top speed of 150 kilometers per hour, but it struggled to turn a profit and saw declining ridership throughout the 20th century until it closed in 1985. And while passenger numbers never reached the heights of the early days, freight traffic remained strong on the line. And now let's talk about the impact of new technology on older railways. With advancements in transportation, some railways become outdated. The opening of new metro lines can render some stations obsolete, such as those along the original Toronto subway line when newer, more convenient stations were built nearby. The Edinburgh to Glasgow railway line in Scotland is another example. When the M8 motorway was constructed in the 1970s, it provided a faster and more convenient travel option. As a result, passenger numbers plummeted and the line was eventually closed in 1984. However, with the growth of Edinburgh and Glasgow, the two largest cities in Scotland, there is now a plan to reopen the line, which could help relieve pressure on the M8 and provide an additional transportation option for commuters. In 1967, New York City's iconic Pennsylvania Station, a hub for long-distance trains, was demolished to make way for the Madison Square Garden Sports Arena. Today, the site is occupied by a skyscraper, but the memory of the original station lives on through photographs and memories. Similarly, London's original Waterloo Station was demolished in the 1930s, when it was deemed too small and outdated for the growing city. In its place, a larger station was built, which still stands today, but some abandoned stations are only hidden in plain sight. For example, Paris's Gare de l'Est has 26 platforms above ground, but an additional 8 below, built in the 1900s to serve as part of an expanded metro network. These platforms were never completed and the entrances sealed off. But in recent years, some of them have been reopened to the public as part of a wider effort to improve access to the city's public transportation system. London also has numerous hidden tube stations, including Aldwych, which was abandoned in 1994 due to low passenger numbers and the construction of the nearby Holborn station, but before closing, it served as an air raid shelter during World War II and was later used as a filming location for movies and TV shows. Another station that's now a secret is New York's City Hall Station on the 4, 5, and 6 lines. It was once the main terminal for the city's first subway line. But as ridership increased, it became clear that the station couldn't handle the growing number of passengers, and so in 1945, service was extended to the nearby Brooklyn Bridge Station, which is still in use today. So what will become of these forgotten railways? Some have been restored and are now used for heritage railways or tourist attractions. Others are still in use, but by freight trains rather than passengers. And some have been repurposed entirely, like the former Liverpool Street Station in London, which is now a bus station. However, with the rise of urban development and the need for sustainable transportation options, many of these abandoned railways are being eyed for redevelopment. There are even plans to reopen some of them, such as the Gospel Oak to Barking line in London, which will connect the city's notoriously poorly connected northeast. But what do you think? Should we try to preserve these abandoned train stations and railways for future generations? Or should we allow them to fade away into obscurity? And would you visit one of these abandoned train stations? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos about trains and other transportation systems. And if you want to learn more about any of the topics covered in this video, check out the additional resources. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.